how come I have to lift the mic? She's like 6 inches taller than me. There we go. I am so glad to be at Trans Pride. Yes, thank you. I'm so glad to be at Trans Pride. There's a really smart writer and trans woman named Julia Serrano who talks about how there are only 2 dominant narratives of trans people. The pathetic transsexual and the deceptive transsexual. Yeah, I don't see it. Isn't that nice? It feels so good to be with people who are with me and with everybody. I'm feeling a little choked up. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I am so glad to have so many opportunities this weekend and here in Toronto to not only talk about when things are fucked up and when shit is hard and how we are going to fix it, but also to be together with people who are full of pride, who are full of how great we are, and who are full of how great we are not in spite of the fact that we are trans or genderqueer or gender non-conforming or gender adjacent or whatever new term has been invented since I got up to the microphone. And I count on that. I love that. Because you know what that means? It means that trans people have the first opportunity to name ourselves and insist on our own names. It means we don't have to take on medical legacy words. It means we don't have to take on other kinds of hate. It means that I can say, henceforth, my gender is xylophone, and you will fucking refer to me that way. And I can be listened to and respected in that. And every time a fight about language breaks out, do we put a space between trans and woman? Do we say this or that? I just think, thank God we have gotten to the point where we can now stand up and insist on being called what we want and expect that other people will respect it. Should you happen to not yet be feeling that, hang around some of these folks. They will help you learn. Because here in the audience are some of the fiercest activists I have known in my whole life, some of the most talented artists, some of the nicest outfits. Good God, you people are good looking. That's another thing I actually really love about being trans, and I go around and I give talks and things like that, and I look out at my audience, I always have the cutest fucking audience of the whole day. But I'm so glad to be able to talk about not only that we're cool in spite of being queer or trans, but that we are great because we are trans and genderqueer and gender non-conforming and gender fabulous in our various and extremely glittery ways. Right? Who do you think you are? Well, we know who we think we are, don't we? What do we spend all our time thinking and talking about with who we think we are? What kind of stupid bully says, who do you think you are to trans people? Who knows better than us who we think we are? Who but us has spent just an enormous amount of time, personally.
It's who we are.
What's that?
It's who we know we are.
It's who we know we are. And we've thought about it, and we've been careful about it, and we've been thoughtful about it, and when we have failed to be thoughtful about it, someone else has said, you weren't thoughtful about it. And then we have done better about being thoughtful about it in the future. And I actually could go on at length about other great things about being queer and trans and genderqueer, but I know that I'm short on time. However, I am hosting the Gender Revolution stage later. I would just like you all to know, in case you did not already, and I know that this is not going to be new news for some of you, but for the rest of you, it's harder than I thought to get a tutu in a suitcase. So we'll talk more later. You knew that already? Okay. We'll talk more later about all of the reasons that it's great to be us, but for now, let me just say, happy Pride.